Before you skip this, I want you to stay for a moment, because this message is for anyone who has been asking the same question in their heart over and over again. God, are you there? Not just once, but in quiet moments, in long nights, in prayers that feel like they disappear into the air. You've been trying to understand why nothing is changing, why the doors are still closed, why the answers haven't come, and why it feels like heaven is silent when you need it the most. And over time, that silence doesn't just feel like quiet anymore. It starts to feel heavy, distant, like you're speaking but no one is responding. But what if that silence is not absence, but purpose? There are moments in life when silence is not rejection, but preparation. Think about a teacher during an exam. When the test begins, the teacher stays quiet. Not because they are gone, not because they don't care, but because speaking would interrupt what is meant to happen. The silence is intentional. Something important is being revealed in that quiet space. And maybe your life right now feels like that moment. You are not being ignored. You are being shaped. You are not being abandoned. You are being prepared. Because not every season in life is meant to feel active or loud. Some seasons are meant to build strength in hidden ways. Think about a seed buried underground. From the surface, it looks like nothing is happening. No movement, no progress, no change. But underneath the soil, life is forming. Roots are stretching deeper. Strength is building. Growth is happening in complete darkness. And if the seed could think, it might believe nothing is going on. But it would be wrong. Silence does not mean emptiness. Silence means unseen work. Maybe that is what is happening in your life right now. God is doing things you cannot see yet, building things you cannot feel yet, preparing answers you are not ready for yet. Not everything He does is meant to be visible in real time. Some of the most important growth happens in hidden places, in quiet seasons, in moments where nothing seems to be changing on the outside, but everything is changing on the inside. And yes, that is not easy, because silence tests your faith. It tests your patience, your trust, your ability to keep believing when nothing around you is giving you proof. But faith was never meant to grow in noise. Faith grows in silence. Faith grows when you keep trusting even when nothing is changing. Faith grows when you keep praying even when you feel nothing. Faith grows when you keep walking even when you don't understand the direction. And maybe that is exactly where you are right now. Not lost, not forgotten, but in a season where something inside you is being strengthened in ways you cannot yet see. There are countless stories where silence was followed by breakthrough. People who waited years before anything changed, who thought nothing was happening, until suddenly everything shifted at the right time. And when it did, they realized the silence was not wasted. It was necessary. Because sometimes, if the answer had come earlier, they would not have been ready for it. Sometimes, delay is not denial, but development. It is preparation for something greater than what you originally asked for. Waiting is hard because it feels like nothing is happening. It feels like time is passing you by. It feels like you are stuck in the same place while everyone else is moving forward. But what if you are not stuck? What if you are being positioned? What if every delay has been protecting you from something you cannot see yet? There are doors we once begged for that would have led us to pain. There are paths we wanted that would have broken us. There are answers we were not ready to carry. And sometimes, silence is what protects us from what we cannot yet understand. So if you are in a silent season right now, don't give up. Don't assume God is absent. Don't assume your story is over, because silence is not the end of the conversation. It is often the pause before something greater is revealed. And one day when you look back at this season, you may realize that what felt like delay was actually perfect timing, that what felt like loss was actually protection, and that what felt like silence was actually God working in ways you simply could not hear yet. And maybe that's the hardest part to accept. Not that life is difficult, but that meaning is often hidden while you are still inside the moment. Because when you are in the middle of silence, you don't see the full picture. You only see what's missing. You only see what hasn't happened yet. You only see the doors that stayed closed, but you don't see what is being built behind the scenes, in places you cannot access, in timing you cannot control, in ways you would not understand, even if it was explained to you right now. That's why silence feels confusing. Because we want answers in real time. We want clarity before we take the next step. We want confirmation before we keep going. But life rarely works that way. And faith was never designed to depend on immediate answers. Faith is trusting that even when nothing makes sense, there is still a direction being formed. Even when nothing changes on the surface, something can still be changing underneath. Think about how many times in your life you thought something was the end, only to realize later it was actually a redirection. The opportunity you didn't get, the relationship that didn't work out, the plan that failed. At the time, it felt like loss. It felt like confusion. It felt like silence. But later, you could see it more clearly, that something better was being prepared, or something harmful was being prevented. And that realization always comes after, not during. And that's what makes trust so difficult in the present moment. Because you are living in the during. You are inside the process, not outside of it. You don't get to see the outcome yet. You don't get to see the purpose yet. You only get to continue moving forward without all the answers. But that is exactly where growth happens. Not when everything is clear, but when you keep going, even when it isn't. There is also something important about silence that we don't talk about enough. It changes you. It builds patience in you that comfort never could. It builds strength in you that success never could. It builds depth in you that easy seasons never could. Because anyone can stay faithful when everything is going right. But something deeper is formed when you stay faithful when nothing is changing. And maybe that is what this season is really about. Not punishment, not abandonment, not distance, but formation. The shaping of something inside you that cannot be built in comfort. The development of a kind of strength that only comes from waiting, from trusting, from continuing, even when you feel like stopping. So if you are still in that silent place right now, I want you to hold on a little longer. Not because the silence is easy, but because it is not permanent. Seasons change. Night does not last forever. And what feels like delay today may one day be the exact timing you needed for everything to fall into place. And when that moment comes, when things finally start to make sense, you won't just see the answer. You'll also see the process that got you there. You'll understand why certain things took time, why certain doors stayed closed, why certain prayers felt unanswered for so long. And you may realize then that God was never far away at all. He was just working in ways you couldn't recognize at the time. So, don't stop now. Even if it feels slow, even if it feels unclear, even if it feels silent. Because your story is still unfolding, and this chapter, no matter how quiet it feels, is not the end. And if you've made it this far, I want you to really hear this part. Silence does not mean nothing is happening. It often means something is happening that you are not meant to interfere with yet. Because there are moments in life where understanding too early would actually weaken your faith instead of strengthening it. If you saw the full picture right now, it might change how you move, how you think, how you trust. So instead, you are asked to walk without seeing everything clearly. And that is uncomfortable. Because we are wired to want control. We want certainty before movement. We want guarantees before decisions. But growth rarely gives you that. Growth asks you to move while uncertain, to trust while waiting, to continue while still confused. And strangely enough, those are the moments that shape you the most, not the moments where everything is obvious, but the moments where nothing is. Because in silence, you learn something very important. You learn how to keep going without emotional confirmation. You learn how to stand without visible proof. You learn how to believe when there is no immediate result, and that kind of strength stays with you. It becomes part of who you are. Later in life, when things finally open up, you won't just be someone who received blessings. You'll be someone who learned how to survive the waiting. And that is something many people never develop because they quit too early in the silence. But you didn't. You are still here, still listening, still trying, still holding on to something even when it feels invisible. And that matters more than you realize. Because what looks like delay to you might actually be protection you cannot yet understand. Some things don't arrive because you are not ready for them yet. Not in a negative way, but in a timing way. There are answers that require maturity. There are doors that require preparation. There are blessings that require strength to carry them properly. And silence is often where that strength is built. It is not loud, it is not dramatic, but it is deep, and deep things take time. So if you feel like nothing is happening, I want you to challenge that thought. Instead of asking, why is nothing changing? Try asking, what might be changing in me that I cannot see yet? Because sometimes the real answer is not outside of you. It is inside of you. Your patience is changing. Your perspective is changing. Your emotional strength is changing. Your ability to trust is changing, even if your situation is still the same. And one day, that internal change will finally meet external change, and everything will start to make sense in a way it never did before. Until then, don't mistake silence for absence. Don't mistake waiting for wasting. Don't mistake delay for denial. Because the truth is, some of the most important moments in your life will come after the longest silence. And when they do, you won't just be thankful for the answer. You'll be thankful you didn't give up in the waiting.